Hey there. So you probably found out if you've done any paid new patient marketing where you run advertising to people to respond, that the people who respond that way are more difficult or colder or whatever, harder to get in than people who come to you as, say, referrals, right? Nice warm referrals, right? It takes a completely different approach. And if you don't have this different approach dialed in, you're going to have a very difficult time making any advertising campaign work for you, all right? So let me give you kind of how to work this out, all right, in this video. So my name is John Nesbitt. I'm the founder of the Customer Factory. We do lots and lots of new patient marketing for lots of different offices across the country. And this actually, what I'm going to talk about in this video is a little outtake from one of the chapters in my book that I wrote called 16 Rules for Facebook Marketing Success for Chiropractors. This book, I'm going to show you how to get this book for free if you don't already have it. But let me go ahead and get on with what we're going to talk about here and give you some knowledge you can use to improve your entire process and maybe make paid marketing work for you where in the past it has failed. All this comes from my experience with a chiropractor in Florida. He was getting a lot of, okay, here's what happened. So as a marketer, this happens sometimes. He came to us and said, oh yeah, my last company I was with gave me a lot of bad leads, right? Just a ton of bad leads. We couldn't get anybody in that wouldn't schedule. It was terrible. Okay. And I said, well, what about before that? What'd you do before that? He goes, well, we had another marketing company and they gave us a lot of bad leads. And, they meant well, but they just got a lot of bad leads and we couldn't get anybody to come in. I'm like, oh boy, right? Here I am, the third guy in a row. Let's see what happens, right? So anyway, I had our suspicion what was going on. So first thing is I started looking to his procedure for how he handles a new patient inquiry from the marketing line. And I found out that he had no specific person in his office whose job it was to do this. And so it's basically whoever answered the phone first or whoever got to the email first would be the one who would follow up with the people who inquired off the website or people who inquired from this marketing programs, right? And in terms of how fast it will happen, he says, yeah, most leads get worked, within a day or two. Like, so someone, obviously if someone calls in, that's one thing, but that's most leads from these marketing campaigns are not live phone calls in. That's usually something, they fill out something on a landing page and it comes to you in an email and you got to call them or text them or whatever, right? He says, yeah, most of it worked within a day or two, right? Okay, that seemed fast to him, I understand. I also found out that if the person didn't schedule immediately, if they didn't respond back pretty quick, or if they made an appointment and didn't show, don't worry about it. There'll be someone new along. He'll try them. Must have been a bad lead. I'm not going to worry about it, right? And of course, he had no scripting or training or drilling or anything like role playing that he had with his people. It was just sort of just catch as catch can, right? So there really wasn't much of a process here. And to be honest, if I had to bet, he's probably also missing referrals. Even warm leads may not make it through that kind of Slack process, right? So it was fairly easy to fix. We got him a dedicated cell phone, and the phone number, all the phone calls would go to that number. All the marketing calls would go to that cell phone, right? It's just a little cheapy burner phone from, we call it a burner. It's probably not good to call them a drug burner phone or whatever. We call them drug dealer phones in Atlanta. Anyway, little burner phones at Walmart you can buy for like $25 and just buy some minutes on it every month. And if something destroys the phone, you're not really that mad because it's a $25 phone, right? It's not a big deal, but it catches all the calls. So, and also you can text from it too. Very important when you're following with leads. So then we had them work out so that whenever a lead came in, they would actually, there's one person and they were assigned to handle the leads for that block of time, that half day at a time. So that person would handle them within 5 minutes if at all possible. Like, there is a key thing to know that the faster you work a lead, the easier it is to get the person in. The longer it goes, the harder it is to get the person in. So obviously if you can get them in like under a minute or 2 or 3, right? It makes a big difference to even an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. Think about it. You've been on the internet looking for help doing something and you submit for some help. And then 5 hours later, you might be at work or asleep or I don't know, doing something else at the movies, whatever. You've kind of moved on in your life. And so as time goes on, it gets harder to get people in. So we got it down to, it was like several minutes during the day when someone would reach out. Obviously, one's overnight got handled first thing in the morning. You don't have to be 4 o'clock in the morning with people, right? Okay, then by assigning that one person, he actually said, okay, whoever schedules the appointment with the new patient, and if they show up, you get a $5 bonus. Just $5, right? Just $5 to make sure his marketing campaign, he's spending thousands of dollars on marketing. You might as well spend an extra few dollars on incentivizing the person to get them in, right? And the staff was thrilled. $5, great, no problem. So they started really taking this phone and this email line seriously because there was money for them behind a little tiny bonus, and they would claim their bonus, and it was great, right? As a matter of fact, he was able to have this phone go home with somebody every weekend. That way, if new patients called in over the weekend or in the evenings, they would actually get a live answer. what, right? Or you get a quick response even on a Sunday afternoon because his staff wanted to take the phone home because they can earn this little bonus, right? And he even had to work out a process where, okay, whoever got the most scheduled patients to arrive the previous week would be allowed to have the phone on the weekend and the evenings the following week. You see how that works? So it's kind of like one of these little games they had to play, right? So, and then the last thing we did with him is we provide a whole bunch of training. Now, we provide training, like a whole series of video training stuff for our clients, but you can do the same thing yourself. You just kind of script out, how should people answer the phone? When someone says, do you take my insurance? What's your answer to that? If they say, tell me about the procedure, what's your answer to that? How do they talk about the doctor? How do they bring up the costs? How do they handle these questions, right? You can script these things all out, and that helps your front desk person, whoever's answering the phone or scheduling these people, to have the right answers, or at least the practiced answers. And doing a bunch of role playing helps too. Have them actually role play, sit there for 10, 15 minutes. If you had a bunch of no-shows lately, just have the guys who are scheduling sit there and just pretend to be patients. So I'm calling you, hey, Mr. Patient, ring, 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 right? And they have fake conversations with each other, but you'll be amazed at how fast they get better at it. It's like a little game, and they get better and better and better and better, right? And so now, imagine this. Now that whole procedure is in, when we run the marketing campaigns, right, our leads are great. Apparently, our leads are awesome. And I'm going to tell you, maybe those other marketing companies were not delivering good leads to him previously. Maybe. But I suspect the problem was in his follow-up process, because once you fix the follow-up process, now it's the easiest thing in the world to get this guy a new patient, because you just make a new patient inquiry, they jump on him, they get him, the person comes on in, the person gets their $5, everybody's super happy, okay? Now, as I mentioned, what I just told you came from my book, 16 Rules for Facebook Marketing Success for Chiropractors, and basically I cover a whole bunch of other topics in that book. I have a way for you to get a copy of that book for free right now. We've got an electronic copy. It's about 20 pages long, this book, and it's an executive summary kind of. It gives you an overview of the entire picture of what it takes to run a successful Facebook marketing company, Facebook marketing campaign for your business, right, for your company. So the idea is that you can take this and it sort of gives you the parameters. It's not every nitty-bitty detail, but it's all the big stuff you have to know, just like what I just told you just now. So hopefully you find that useful, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye.